How you doing, people? Oh, look how beautiful Lake Ladoga is. So I'm bringing you another video today. I just want to go over repairs on reels, rods, and when you want to replace your line. Um, as you can see behind me, this is Lake Ladoga, one of the newer lakes. It's a bit higher level. Um, but yeah, so this lake here, pretty cheap to repair here. So maybe keep that in mind, huh? Think about it. Think about it. Here is Lake Volkov. Look how big that hydropower plant is, dude. You know, this is the one of the first hydropower plants in the motherlands. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I found out making this video. But yeah, so this is the other lake. It's a little bit lower than Ladoga, and repair prices here pretty good. Keep that in mind. Repairs ain't cheap, okay? I'm gonna hop over to the video. We're gonna talk about repairs on your reel, your line, and your rod. All right, I'll see you guys over there. And I'll tell you what, traveling between these lakes is a hike. Oh man! All right, so so I just showed you guys Volkov, um, and the Ladoga. These are probably the two better places to go and repair your reels and rods. Volkov probably the better place to go buy your line. Volkov normally has everything in stock, so we're over here at Corey. Corey's where I've been farming silver for my Venga, and we are up to 13,693, which is pretty good. But I wanted to go over today the repairs on reels and when you should be repairing your reels and rods and replacing your lines. So I'm just going to start off real quick. You want to obviously find the workshop. You click E on the workshop. Here's all my stuff that's repairable. Well, I shouldn't say all of it's repairable. You cannot replace the blank on your rods. So once the blank gets to about 50%, it's gonna affect your rod greatly, and you're probably gonna think about buying an upgrade, if not just replacing it with another new rod. So with that said, let me see. Let's do the Evora. So with the Evora, when you click on it, you see the blanks at 4.2%. You can't do anything about this. You can't click on it. It's not replaceable. You can't, nothing to do here. But you can click on the line guides. Now, the line guides, you don't need to repair this until 50%. It is quite pricey, and but this doesn't have to be repaired till 50%. If the only time I would replace it before then is if you're having a lot of trouble bringing in the fish, but we'll get over that. We'll get into that in a minute. It's probably not your line guides causing that. So we're gonna scroll down to. Actually, I have to take it off my rod. So I'm just gonna go ahead and disassemble. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on workshop again. Then we're gonna click on the steelhead. Okay, so mechanism. The mechanism, you don't need to repair this until about 30%. If you want to save silver, it's better than repairing it lower, because you'd have to repair it twice because that's just how it works. So mechanism, you want to wait until about 30% and then repair that. Your ball bearings are going to be a little bit different. These you do not have to replace until it's 50%. So don't do this until 50%. Pretty straightforward. Now your friction brake, your brake is a little bit different. This is not to replace unless you are finding it like really hard to bring the fish in and or stop the fish from running. But I wouldn't replace this until probably 30%. 30% is pretty good for that. Now your spool, this is the same as ball bearings. You're not going to replace this till 50%. So these three are 50%. Now the grease, on the other hand, I should have repaired this a long time ago. The grease, you should, every 15% or so, 15-20%, depends on how hard the fish are fighting, you're going to want to grease her up. So I'm not going to do it here because it costs more. It's where at Quarry. So yeah, and depending on where you are, it's going to cost different prices. And some places don't even let you repair it. Like Octuba, I know there's a couple things you can't repair at Octuba. But yeah, so this I should have repaired at 15%. Now, as for fishing line, you see how there's no line here? You can't replace line. So the line, you're going to want to click on, let me put the line back on here. It was the 22.8 power braid. So yeah, the line is every 1% of damage is like 0.1, I would say, negative on your line. So say this was a 20 kilo line, and I put 10% damage on it, it would take off effectively 2 kilos of power on the line, the strength of the line. So effectively, it would become an 18 kilo. So you want to, I would say, my personal preference is anywhere from 10 to 15% with the line replacement. You can't repair these. You have to buy a new one. But 10 to 15% depends on what you're fishing. If you're fishing like smaller, useless fish, you can get away with it. But if you're getting the bigger boys, and you feel like you're fighting too hard, you might want to think about checking your line damage and the wear on that and getting a brand new line. You can press the little gearbox here and see. Hold on, let me put the reel back on there. Put a leader on there too, 17.4. Put my lure back. Okay, so when you click the gearbox here, you can see all the damage parts on the setup that you currently are using. Same goes for your spoons. I wouldn't replace these ever. Just let them keep getting damaged. Unless you're really like, no, just let them keep getting damaged. You'll probably get bit off before you need to replace one ever, anyways. Okay, so as far as the rod, we covered that. We covered the reel. Like I said, real quick, we're just gonna go over it again. Mech, the ball bearings, and the spool. All these are 50%. You wait till 50% to repair or replace them. Your friction brake is 30%. You want to repair this. Well, it depends on what you're fishing. If you're having a really hard time fishing, it could be because your brake. If you find yourself not being able to stop the fish or bring in the heavier boys, like at Bear Lake, for instance, it might be your brake. It could be a combination of everything. But more than likely, you need to replace your brake. But I would wait until 30%. That's my honest opinion on that. It's 30%. The grease, I'm way overdue, almost 15% over. You definitely want to replace this, I would say, every 15%, guaranteed. And it's actually really cheap to do the grease, so it's not too bad. So we're just going to click on here. Okay, so you see how this is taking time to load? Sometimes that happens, and you just have to wait. There's nothing you can do about it. There we go. This one loaded up. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So. Okay. All right. So it loaded. All this is good. This, like I said, 50%. You can't replace this. This is if this gets to 50% wear, you can keep using it, but risk losing your setup. But I honestly, at around 50%, I'd consider buying a whole new rod, or even an upgrade to the rod that you're currently using. For the Evora, I would probably just end up replacing it with another Evora. It's really all up to you. And don't use gold to repair. Just just farm the silver and please just use silver. Now, when you do repairs, let's say I click on this, right? And I hit repair it. You see right here it says 3 days, 18 hours. That's like 3 hours. It's like, oh, that's like 3 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. I don't know the exact time, but each day is like an hour. So depending on how many here, I'm going to show you. Depending on how much damage is done to the item that you were trying to repair, like the reels. Let's say I click all of them. So that says it's going to take more than 6 hours to repair, and it's going to cost $15.29. But we're not doing the mech, we're not doing the spool, not doing the ball bearings, and we're not doing the brake. Yeah, I'm going to say it one more time. The friction brake you do not want to repair until 30%. The ball bearings, mech, and spool, all 50%. And the grease, like I said, 15%. It's very, very important if you want to save money and be min-maxing in the game and progress farther, get better gear, upgrade faster, save money. Save money is the key word there. I hope this video was helpful for everybody. There is a workshop at each lake except, I think, Cottage Pond. I'm not sure. I haven't been there in a long time. So yeah, if you guys find yourself struggling, stopping the fish or bringing it in, it could be that. Now the other thing I wanted to cover real quick before we stop the video. Now you see how I'm using fluorocarbon line. Fluorocarbon is pretty damaging to the reels. It does a good amount of damage. But let's say, for instance, where is it? Okay, so here I have braided line, right? And it's a really like thick line. It's a really heavy line. You know what I mean? The braided line is gonna make your equipment wear extremely fast compared to the other lines. If you can, always use monoline. What I mean by monoline is a line like that's braid. So like this here. See how it's monofilament? Monofilament does the least amount of damage to your line, and I prefer using this if I really wanted the min-max and save the most money, you know, on repairs. This is the line you should be going with, but and then if it requires a fluoroliter for, you know, say char or burbot, then you can just throw a fluoroliter on there and be okay with the mono. Same with bear. Bear, you can use this at bear without a leader. It doesn't, like, since it's already mono, you don't need the leader. But I recommend using a mono leader anyways at bear. So I hope that really helps you guys. Make sure you have the correct setups for your, you know, I'm not going to take this setup and go fish, let's say, bream, okay? First of all, I would take this reel off. I'd put like a Lasardi on there, a 4K Lasardi, or even an Adriatica 5K, or even the Proton 6K, one of the smaller reels. You don't need some fancy alpha or greater for small fish. You just need a reel that's, you know, a couple kilos. It'll get the job done. And you're just wasting money on repairs using your alpha. You know, just something to keep in mind. You know, you don't want to use, you know, the steelhead for, you know, perch fishing, for instance. You want to use one of the smaller spinning rods. You know, like I said, you want to use, you know, one of the lighter setups to save yourself money in the long run on repairs. That's always good to keep in mind. But if you're sturgeon fishing or something like that, you're gonna want to use the Venga. The Venga has a much less repair, you know, time. Like it wears less than the Targera, so just keep that in mind. Also, real quick, while we're here, I'm just gonna go show you guys something real quick. A lot of people don't know this, but if you click on the tackle store and go to reels, let's say you're looking at the Alpha, for instance. The Alpha is only a 4-star reel now, so that means these stars represent how like durable they are, how fast they wear. Not too sure how accurate they are though. When you click on the Venga, it's a 5-star reel. This thing has, it's supposed to wear much less than the Alpha, let's say. Now, a lot of people buy these Targeras, and if you look at it, it's only a 4-star quality. So this is gonna wear about 30% faster than this Venga will. So I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to buy, but I tell people, skip the Targera, just bite the bullet, do the grind, get your 24,000 silver, and get your Venga 10K. It's a really effective, efficient reel, and this is what you're gonna want to bring in. The belugas, the trophy sturgeon, the albino catfishes, the big catfishes, the Baltic sturgeon. This is the reel that you're gonna want to use. The Targera, you can use it. I'm not saying you can't, but this reel is gonna wear about 30% faster than the Venga. So always keep that in mind when you're looking at the when you're looking to buy something new. And it goes, the same thing applies for the rods. They have different qualities for each rod. So like for instance, I just showed you the Rebellion and how much it is to repair. So let me just scroll down to it real quick. So here's the Rebellion. It's a 4.5-star rod, and so that's a pretty good quality rod. There are better ones, like the Blade Master. These are 5-star. These are gonna wear much slower, and these are really nice, really nice rods, but very expensive as you can see here. So you're probably gonna want to be using the Rebellion for a while. The tier 2 Rebellion, don't forget, you want the +5 to float skill and +2 to waggler skill. This combination is really good. Waggler is probably one of the best skills in the game. But yeah, I hope that covers everything for repairs, and I hope this video helps you guys out. Click like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys on Twitch. My channel is twitch.tv/thebatango. I will leave the link in the description below, and you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and may you catch many a fish. Thank you.